Going on, Falcon fans? Your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about how important is free agency, and how that ties into the Atlanta Falcons, of course, right? Right. Before we get into the video, guys, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys actually like what I'm talking about. And then please hit the share button as well so people can come in and my video can go out through the YouTube universe. All right, so we get into the video. First, we're going to talk about a little news. Dave Brock, the last holdover from the Dan Quinn era, has been released as our wide receiver coach. Interesting to see who they're going to bring in. Probably because our receiver room probably underperformed this year, even though Captain really was out, Julio had left. And so we really don't know why they decide to get rid of Dave Brock. But it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in to be our new wide receiver coach. A little surprise to me, they actually released Dante Fowler. The only reason why, because we don't really have any pass rushers on the team. So it seems like the Falcons might be trying to double dip. Hopefully they got a plan what they're going to do with our pass rush. We definitely got to get some kind of pass rush. We only had 18 sacks this season, so pass rush should be a priority for the defensive side of the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, Dante Fowler, 7 sacks in 2 seasons. He definitely underperformed for the contract that we brought him in on. Of course, you know these guys had to make him take a pay cut last year. He had a lot of incentive-laden deals on his contract, and he could only make the one because he had 4 sacks, so he got the $1 million. Could have made up to $4 million if he could have went over 10 sacks. So, it is what it is. So, like I said, it was a little surprised because of the cap space. How it's going to affect the cap space a little bit. We $4.6 million dead cap, so now the Falcons only have about $7.6 million in cap space going into the new league year and free agency. So that's where we're at. So we're talking about free agency. Dante Fowler is a perfect example. So free agency, like I said, the day's topic to be about is how important is free agency and how important is it to the Falcons. So let's just look at free agency and different ways teams look at free agency. So let's give one example, the New England Patriots. New England Patriots had a lot of money to spend this year, and they went out and they spent a lot of money on free agency. I think it might be the most Bill Belichick has spent on the team in a while for free agency. But if you look at the free agents he brought in, those free agents were brought in to be for a long time, right? Or be in for Bill Belichick to trade them for something else down the line, because you know Bill Belichick don't care about trading players, right? So, but either way, he utilized those signings to build his team, right? He did it that way. Obviously, we see what kind of season they had. They had a pretty good season with a rookie quarterback, and so it looked like it's going to pay off for the Patriots in the long run with those signings he did during the offseason free agency. I'm going to look at a team like the Bengals. The Bengals they went out and made a big splash. They brought in Trey Hendricks from the New Orleans Saints. He had a great season for them, and those guys actually ended up in the Super Bowl. So, and if you looked at that little graphic they showed during the Super Bowl, all those individuals they brought in doing free agency, and like I said, it looked like it paid off for those guys. And those guys are going to be there for the long haul. So once again, they built for the future as well. And they ended up in the Super Bowl. Now you look at somebody like the Los Angeles Rams. They went out and got hired guns, right? They went out and got Von Miller, even though it wasn't really a free agent signing. But they went and got a big guy like Von Miller come in, big name guy. They did bring in Odell Beckham Jr., and that paid off for them to get them to the Super Bowl. And it looked like Odell Beckham Jr. was going to have a big game in the Super Bowl as well before he went down on an injury. And it paid off as well because Robert Woods got hurt time Odell Beckham Jr. got there. So if you just look at it, those things. So when I look at free agency, you're going to bring free agency in for the long run. like the Patriots did, like the Bengals did? Or are you gonna do like the Rams did, and we just missing that one piece, and then it'll take us over the top, right? So that's the way some teams look at free agency. So let's get into the Atlanta Falcons and how the Atlanta Falcons, let's just see how they had to approach it last year, right? Last year, they approached on free agency just to fill the roster. Let's keep real. They had like 30-something guys on the contract. So they had to treat free agency just to find bodies to be on the team. And they had little or no money to do it, right? So they had to go out and get guys who were special teamers, who really didn't have a lot of starts under their belt, and they brought them in one-year deals to help build the culture for this coaching staff and this new regime. So that's what they did. And we was able to win 7 games doing it that way. However, a lot of those guys they brought in, a lot of them probably won't be back this year. So it's like starting over again. But I think it did help the Atlanta Falcons build some kind of culture. I think those veterans that they brought in definitely helped the young guys. And I think Arthur Smith have the kind of culture that he wanted to establish in his first year. All right, some of those guys could be back. More than likely, some of them probably will be back, like I said, because we still only got $7.6 million. So bringing some of those guys back on a one-year deal probably won't be that big of a stretch for these guys. So we'll just have to see about that. All right, so first of all, when we talk about our free agency, like I said, we only got $7.6 million of cap space. So I would say that these guys probably got to make some decisions first just to clear up some cap space, right? You just look at our top of our salary cap, the cap space. Matt Ryan, Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Jake Matthews. Those guys, they got to go ahead and determine what part of these guys going to play in the future of the Falcons, right? We talked about Matt Ryan, $48 million. Are they going to just ride with that and see what happens? See if they're going to extend him, or are they just going to just eat up that $48 million this year, and it'd be easier to get, do away with Matt Ryan contract next year, right? Grady Jarrett, is he going to be part of the future? A lot of people got rumors out there about Grady Jarrett being traded. Could be an option, right? We'll just have to see. Maybe a big piece like Grady Jarrett could going to use some good draft picks. Maybe another body. Oh, trust me, I'm not saying we need to trade Grady Jarrett. I'm just saying it could be an option, right? We don't know how these guys going to build their team. We just don't know. So just an option throwing it out there. Deion Jones, is Deion Jones going to be in the future of the Atlanta Falcons? He had a down year, missed 17 tackles. Still have over 130 tackles, but he missed 17 of them. A lot of people wasn't happy with his performance this year. I would say that he was playing, the first year he was actually not playing Mike, he was playing Will. So it could have been a little adjustment for him. Usually he's that Mike linebacker. However, Dean Pease wanted a bigger body playing Mike, and that's what Foye Oluokun shined at that spot. And then last, Jake Matthews. What can you say about left tackle who's still playing at high level? What are they going to do with his contract? So we got to see what these guys' plan is, and I think that they should kind of make a decision on at least a couple of these guys right at the beginning of free agency, so we can actually have some space to see what these guys are going to do. All right. So first of all, you talk about free agency. We're going to actually talk about our free agents that we have on the team. The biggest free agents is Foye Oluokun. What are they going to do with Foye Oluokun? Are they going to actually keep 2 linebackers that make that much money between him and Deion Jones? Foye Oluokun had a great season, 192 tackles. Like I said, he excelled at that Mike linebacker position. Personally, I would love to have Foye Oluokun back, so we just definitely have to see what they're going to do with Foye Oluokun. Of course, Hayden Hurst is a free agent. We definitely need to make sure we keep some kind of two tight end set. Of course, they signed Ryan Decker. They brought him back in. Parker Hesse's here, so like we really got a really green tight end room, to include Kyle Pitts, who's just in his second year. So I definitely think Hayden Hurst, bringing him back, if he can give us a team-friendly deal, we'll just have to see. All right. And then the last two guys I really want to talk about, of course, Cordell Patterson, who's been lobbying to be back with the Atlanta Falcons. I think that Arthur Smith unlocked how Cordell Patterson actually can play on an NFL team, and that's why I think he wants to be back. Of course, it's going to come down to the money. He might be able to garner more because of the way he played this year. He had a lot of touchdowns for us. He was one of our key and main contributors to our offense this year. So, of course, we want Cordell Patterson back. And then Russell Gage, what to do with Russell Gage. I think he should be another person that we should be looking at bringing back as well. So these are guys just in our own locker room already that are free agents that the Atlanta Falcons need to determine if they want these guys to be part of the future as well. So before we go into the outside, so do I anticipate all those guys being back? Probably not, but hopefully we get two of those guys back on the team, and that'll be awesome for us. So that's what I'm hoping we do in free agency. So with the Atlanta Falcons, you talk about free agency. How important do I think free agency is for these Atlanta Falcons? They're not a free agent away like the Rams or anything like that. We get one big thing free agent that won't put us over the top. So I don't think we need to go for a splash per se, unless we can get a splash pass rusher that's just going to garner double teams or something like that. One player would definitely not put us over the hump. So I can envision the Atlanta Falcons kind of doing what they did last year, going in and trying to find some bargain deals, some great players to fit the schemes that the defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, and Arthur Smith would like to run on offense, and see if these guys would stick and we can actually start keeping some of these guys for long term. We just have to see. Like I said, both for our safeties, Deron Harmon and Eric Harris, going to be free agency. Faye Moreau is going to be a free agent as well. Of course, I didn't mention any of those guys. If they bring them back, like I said, some of these guys was very instrumental to the culture that was built this year, especially those two safeties. I thought Eric Harris and Deron Harmon played a big role in helping develop Richard Grant and Jalen Hawkins. So if we bring some of these veterans back, that'll be good. We just will have to see what they're going to do. Quadri Allison also is a free agent as well, so we just have to see if they're going to bring him back. Definitely, we still got Mike Davis. It's really going to be interesting what they decide to do with Mike Davis, since he still got 1 year left on his contract. But these are the things that our Atlanta Falcons coaching staff and our Terry Fontenot is definitely going to have to figure out. And I know for a fact, and I think you guys should feel the same way, that they already got plans in place. They already thinking about what they want to do. We just don't know what it is. All right, we have no idea what direction these guys are going in. We just have to wait to see. All right. We talked about it last video. I talked about what it takes to be a winning franchise. Hopefully these guys have a recipe to do that. Free agency is important to building a winning franchise, how you build a team. Like I said, from the draft and free agency, so it is very important. Also, one of the other things was the culture. Like I said, some of these guys that we had on team last year was instrumental to building that culture. So definitely probably bring some of these guys back just to feel if not just fill a stopgap like they did last year, but just to help continue to emphasize some of the things that Arthur Smith want to get to the younger players on the team, and help, build a culture even more. So you guys, you let me know how important free agent is to you, and what do you think the Falcons going to do in free agency. Let me know what you think about Foyer, Cordell, Russell Gage, Hayden Hurst, Fabian Moreau, Eric Harris, Deron Harmon, all these guys, Olamide Zaccheaus, Christian Blake, Tarjay Sharp, all these guys are free agents. Quadri Olison, all these guys are free agents this year. So the Atlanta Falcons could potentially look a whole lot different than it did this season, because we know for a fact all these guys are not coming back to this team. We just need a couple of them probably to help just keep that culture in place. A lot of these guys are veterans. Personally, if you just asking me, we can get Foyer back, we get Cordell back, and maybe one of the safeties, Eric Harris or Deron Harmon, back. Hey, I think that'll be a win for us. Just because I know they're going to bring in some more free agents. Of course, we're going to try to build through the draft. And definitely, we got to fix the pass rush. So either they're going to do that in the free agency, or they're going to do it in the draft. My philosophy about needs, right? If you can pull your needs out of free agency, it'll be great, because when you go to the draft, you get the best player available. And I think that's the same idea, mindset that Terry Fontenot have. We just have to see if he's going to do it that way this year. But it's all going to come down to the cap, guys, just like last year. Right now, we only got $7.6 million. And I don't see how many free agents you can bring in with that, unless you do what you did last year and bring in one-year deals, and we just repeat the same cycle we did last year. So with that, guys, that's all I have for today. Please leave your thoughts and your comments below. And like I said, hit the share button and share my video throughout the YouTube universe. It's your boy Ricondo, coming back at you with another video. Peace.